Everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of Ready to Die Fighting. Kris here. And you're probably thinking, that's a weird little drill you're doing. Not hitting the bag very hard. I'm not wearing gloves. Got my glasses on and a hoodie. My pockets are actually full. Got my work shoes on. I'm not at all dressed for a workout. And I'm not really doing a workout right now. Not the kind of workout anyways that I think of where I'm burning calories or building muscle necessarily. Right now I'm working on some other things, more technical stuff, I guess you could say. And Erie's being a little crybaby. Come here. Say hello to everybody. Can you see Erie? Let's see. Look at this big baby. This big baby. She's so cute. Say hi, Erie. Go someplace. So, right now, I'm not training to be a competitive fighter. That's not my goal. I'm training to get into a functional fitness level where I can survive whatever life throws at me. Specifically, whatever the zombie apocalypse could throw at me. So as I've said in other videos, I need to be able to climb a wall. I need to be able to flee from a mob. I need to be able to carry my bag as I'm fleeing from that mob or traveling to some remote location on foot. Those are things I need to be able to do. Additionally, I need to be able to defend myself if I'm attacked. Now, I do have a firearm I can use, which I'm actually wearing right now. But not everything warrants gunfire. Sometimes you don't have to be quite that violent. Maybe someone doesn't necessarily need to die for whatever the situation is. Maybe you don't want the noise. Maybe you can't have access to it. Maybe you're out of ammo. Maybe there's a whole bunch of maybes. Maybe you just don't want to escalate the situation that much. Maybe they got the jump on you and you don't have enough time to get to it. So there's a lot of reasons why I think being able to defend yourself with your fists is probably more important than being able to defend yourself with a firearm. Because unless you're an amputee or some other massive injury, you'll probably have your fists with you. You might not have a firearm or a knife with you. And if your hands are injured or if the adrenaline is really kicking in, adrenaline makes it difficult for fine motor skills. Or makes it difficult for you to use your fine motor skills. So even though a gun may be better, you may not be able to manipulate it as well under stress unless you're regularly training with that sort of thing. And I don't train with that. I'm not military. I'm not a law enforcement. I'm not anything like that. But large muscle groups like throwing an elbow, throwing a punch, that's not fine motor skills. Your adrenaline actually works great for that. You can throw punches and elbows and kicks with all the adrenaline in your system, and it's just going to make it more powerful. Your adrenaline... Erie, hey, leave it. Get out of here. Adrenaline kicks in and, try to sign your name. It might not work as well for you. So what I want to work on is how I may actually use this stuff real life. Now, a lot of times when I train, I'm wearing gloves. I got my gym shorts on and a t-shirt and a mouth guard and all that. But chances are when the zombies strike, I'm not going to have those things. I'm going to be dressed like this, similar to this. Wearing more than likely these shoes, quite possibly these pants, wearing my glasses, no gloves on. And I want to be able to throw a punch effectively. I'm not going to have wrist wraps. So I need my fists to be strong. I need my wrists to be strong. I need to be able to know that I can throw these punches confidently and accurately without gloves, without protection. Trying to find that sweet spot of being able to break a zombie's face without breaking my hand is the goal. So today what I'm working on, at least for right now, is being able to punch mostly with these top two knuckles. Because there's, let's see, I don't know how well you can see, but you have these two knuckles that are bigger and stronger and less likely to break if you punch something. But then you also have these three here that makes a nice flat surface. And there's a lot of debate on the internet between different martial arts styles, which way is best. I find that I naturally want to punch with these three here. That makes a nice flat surface. And to me, it's very, especially with a straight punch like that, that's just where it wants to hit. I find a very good alignment. My wrist, for whatever reason, is not very flexible right to left. I think other people's can move at a greater angle that way. But I find that when it's at that type of angle and I hit, it feels very much locked in place, and my wrist feels very secure and stable, and it feels great on my wrist. It does not, however, feel good on my knuckles, and I've actually injured this knuckle a couple times, punching things that I probably shouldn't, harder than I shouldn't, and now that knuckle's really sore, and I'm almost scared to throw a punch with my right hand because it hurts. It is healing. Had a little glitch with the camera, so hopefully we're good now. Not sure where it cut off, but yeah, I'm not sure where it cut off. So, but I was saying, in Taekwondo, you're typically, in a front stance with your hips very square, this deep front stance, your fist at your waist, and you're throwing punches, this type of style. No thank you, Erie. Which is not very practical in a real fight. That's fine for something, I'm not sure what, building form and technique, I guess, and just making strong punches. That's the way that I originally learned. And they taught to punch with these first two knuckles. Now that I've switched over to things like Krav Maga, boxing, MMA, all that, more modern or more practical martial arts styles, I'm learning to punch with these, the bottom three knuckles, which gives you a bigger surface, and it is more natural to me. But, like I said, I've got this injury here that's making me a little bit scared, and I'm wondering, should I switch back to the two-knuckle punch? So I'm trying to figure out how I can get a two-knuckle punch going, which does not feel as stable to me. I feel like my wrist is going to roll a bit. It feels wobblier. Whereas when I'm here, I guess there is some wobbling, but it's a comfortable wobble. This, it feels more like there's a strain. Like I could be more likely to get injured if I don't hit quite right. So I'm trying to, what I'm practicing right now isn't so much punching hard. This is a 100-pound bag, and so I can punch it pretty good if I wanted to. But right now, I'm focusing on just hitting with those two knuckles up top, because they are bigger and stronger knuckles, and I want to protect this one that's been injured. So one of the ways I'm trying to do that is I find that if I turn, because normally I punch, and it's kind of at a vertical angle like this. That's kind of where my fist naturally wants to go, is when I throw my punches. Sometimes I'll turn it over all the way, like so it's flat. But a lot of times it's right there, just kind of at a, I don't know what angle that is. Maybe a 45-degree angle. That's how I want to punch. That's where my body naturally wants to do. And that's leading, and I'm hitting with these three. And that's why this knuckle gets hurt. However, I find that if I turn this way, something happens where, and I'm not sure how exactly or why, but for whatever reason, these two knuckles are hitting first. And I can feel it, not so much when I'm wearing gloves, I don't really feel the difference, but if I'm bare knuckle punching this bag, holding my fist at this angle, now these top two knuckles are hitting first. And I'm feeling no impact whatsoever on that one. And that, at least at this time, that's what I want. Because, like I said, it's sore. So I can do this with no pain. And so right now, that's my primary goal. One of three goals, really, that I'm working on. Is just trying to build that muscle memory. And just doing these light punches to, you could say, conditioning the fist. So it's a great way to make your fist stronger, is punching things lightly. And as they get stronger, you don't even have to use good form. The idea is just building that impact, letting the bones and the muscles and the tendons feel that impact. And as they get little minor injuries that don't really hurt you, but like minor breakdowns, they build up stronger and stronger and stronger till you can do that harder. And so I've been doing these light punches on this bag for a while. I actually just got the full-size 16-ounce gloves. I normally would just use either very thin gloves or go bare knuckle on it because I wanted to build my hand strength. And I've had this bag for a few years and been using it. And that's how I normally use it. The other thing that I'm working on, in addition to turning the fist, is in a real fight, I want my hands open. I want to be able to grab, you know, want to be able to, you can block a little bit better. I don't want to really block with my hands open, closed. I don't see a whole lot of benefit to that. Whereas this, you have a little bit more, you know, if a fist is coming that way, it misses. Coming that way, it is at least hitting your finger. You can deflect it a little bit. You have the potential to grab if you're blocking something. If your hand's open, you can grab it as you're blocking and turn it into a counterattack. So I want my hands open. You also are more relaxed that way. If you're clenching your fist tight the entire time, muscle fatigue is gonna set in. So I want my hands open, and I want to be able to close them once I'm throwing the punch and then open back up. And so what that's gonna do is help keep me relaxed, but you also get a little bit of extra, like that snapping your hands closed gives you a little extra oomph at the last second. Again, don't know why, but that's what I've read, that's what I've been told, and in doing it, I feel like it's true. I believe it. So you get a little extra pop, like if I'm just staying static like that, and that could be just because you're relaxed and just the act of pushing it just gives you just a little bit more snap into your punch. So I'm concentrating on, there's two of three things. Turn, hit with those top two knuckles, and leave this hand open. Open that back up as soon as I'm done. Punch with this one, close at the last second. And I'm trying to stay relaxed as I'm doing. I'm almost just placing my thumb here, or not my thumb, my fist on this bag, not really punching it. I'm trying to do it quickly because I think speed, you know, matters. I'm far more concerned with speed than I am with strength, at least at this point. And just trying to get that motion. It's hard to do while talking, that's for sure. So I'm really trying to nail that down, and it's just really building muscle memory. You don't have to go full power to build a muscle memory. You could do this slowly to train your muscles to know what to do and make that fist the right way over and over, and your muscles are going to remember it. And then when you go faster and when you use more power, it's already programmed in. That's the idea anyway. The last thing that I'm working on is, I've been told by a couple different people that I do not rotate my torso enough when I throw punches. And that may very well come from my Taekwondo roots. You're here and you're just kind of snapping a little bit, but there's not a whole lot of rotation when you throw those Taekwondo style punches. Mostly because you're already squared up forward. There's not a whole lot of room to rotate because your hips are squared, everything's squared forward. But in a boxing stance, there certainly is room to rotate. The hips, lift that foot up a little bit, dig your toes into the ground, or the floor, or whatever, and then you throw that punch. And so I'm trying to stand, what I've been doing, I haven't been doing it so much while I'm on camera here because I'm trying to stay in frame, but I've been trying to get just out of range, or just barely in range, so that it's forcing me, in order to hit the bag, I have to rotate. Otherwise, if I don't, I'm going to miss. And that's definitely slowing my punches down, but that's okay. Speed will come, as they say, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. So I'm rotating, I'm opening my hands and closing them at the last second from impact, and I'm rotating my hips is the goal. That's what I'm working on. Those are the 3 things that I'm trying to work on at this time. Oh, I guess 4. You could also say knuckle conditioning. So let's say 4 things that I'm working on. And the rotation is important for a couple different reasons. That's where you get more power. That's where the power truly comes in, is from your hips and from the ground, more so than your arms. Additionally, I am short, and I have stumpy little short arms and stumpy little tiny hands. And of course that makes me just as cute as a little butterball. That's not all that beneficial to me in a fist fight. I have a hard time hitting people because my arms are short, and almost always the other person's arms are almost always longer than mine. And so that sucks. I have a hard time hitting them. So I find I have a tendency to move in close and probably get too close, and then I'm crammed up. But I like throwing elbows, so it's not terrible. But where I get into the danger zone is I'm not good at clinch fighting. I'm not good at grappling yet. It's something I'm actively working on, but I'm not there yet. I'm good at punching. Punch you all day long. I'm not so good at grappling. So I have a tendency to get in close so that I can comfortably punch with my stumpy little arms. But at this point, the person usually grabs me, and now I'm in trouble. Alternatively, if I stay far back enough where they can't grab me, then they can hit me, but I can't hit them back because we're too far away in my stumpy little arms. But by rotating those hips, let's see, we'll do this. So if I just punch without rotating, or just with my minimal rotation that I typically do, I'm only hitting right here. Let's see, get it to the letters. So I get to that T just barely. If I actually rotate, well, that goes significantly. I mean, that is a big difference. Let's see, let's try that again. So my regular punch, if I just stay straight, I'm not even hitting it, really. And then if I rotate, it comes significantly farther. So I've increased my range, and I'm increasing my power, although I might be slowing my punch down just a little bit. But a slow punch that can reach is better than a fast punch that doesn't, right? If you don't hit the person, what difference does it make? So that's what I'm working on with this kind of silly looking, slow drill. And while I'm working on this, Erie's just working my nerves, how she normally does. And so I've been doing this for a few weeks now, and it's improved. It has helped for sure. The rotation is something I still struggle with. I find that when I'm in a sparring situation, or if I'm in a drill, hitting pads and there's movement involved, I do still default back to this and hitting with the 3 knuckles. However, I have noticed that, and I've been told that my rotation has improved, and that's really my biggest one. I really want to do that more so than the others. I mean, realistically, if somebody's attacking me and I need to defend myself, well, I'd rather hurt my fist than have my body harmed. You know, I'll sacrifice my fist if that means I'll punch you with it. I'll tape it up later. I'll cry about it later. But in the moment, I'll just punch you, and my fist will just hurt, possibly break. I'm willing to make that sacrifice. Makes sense to me. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep working on this with the rotation. Oh, I forgot to open my hands. So that's something I still need to work on that as well. And in wearing the gloves too, you can't make a true fist anyway. So I like to hit this bag to make sure that I'm still making proper fists and making good punches. You know, I don't want to just only hit with gloves on and not be able to do that. So that's what I'm working on these days. About once a month or so, I usually change my focus. So it's January right now. It's almost the end of January, just about. Hopefully gonna get this uploaded pretty soon. And so January's been punch month, where I've really been trying to work on rotating those hips, getting solid, strong punches, learning some new different combinations. Just punches has been the thing of the month. Next month, February, I'm leaning towards footwork because it starts with an F. So footwork February sounds good. And that's another thing that I'm not the greatest at, because again, Taekwondo, a lot of times you get into these stances and we work a lot of front stance, side stance, horse stance, cat stance. I realize you guys probably can't see my feet. And so we really worked into these stances and not a whole lot being light-footed movement. And so that's a little bit of a weakness to me. I think naturally I'm pretty light-footed for the most part. I don't seem to struggle so much, but I know I could be better. And so I'm going to concentrate on footwork in February. So, tell me what you guys think of this type of video. If this is helpful to you, if you have some of the same issues that I have, and if you've got any recommendations, if you've got some of these issues that I'm dealing with and trying to work on, and you've got some drills that you know of that have really worked for you, please share them. I'm trying to improve. I'll say over and over again, I am not a professional. I'm not an expert. I'm taking you on my journey, and I'm just trying shit out. I don't know what I'm doing. Don't listen to me. I mean, listen to me. Of course, I'm an expert. All right. Catch you next time.